request. And by this, I mean request of ad zero. I've gone live to embarrass myself, as usual. How is everyone? What have I missed? It's late on a Thursday. How we doing? There's still no one here. I'll be forced to sing until, oh, now we're talking. We got Dickie Farley in the chat. Howdy, Dickie. Abel D is in the chat saying, hello, world. What's going on, Abel? What is going on? Envious Creations Car Club is in the chat. Not much, brother. Just hanging out. Random Thursday night. How are you? I Spider Garage. Mr. Bryce DeCastro is in the chat saying, boom, baby. Abel D saying, Ari, you did it. First Responder Garage is in the chat. Howdy, brother. He's back from the No Name Nationals. Two Hacks Garage. Jive Hive Jeffrey is in the chat. What's going on, man? Charlie Roma saying, random gift of Ari. This was at Zero's request. He said, are you going live with the mods? Because his joke is that everybody's a moderator on my channel. So I figured, why not go live? I can't, worst case, you guys got to listen to me yap for a while. So, I mean, that's not so bad, right? I guess. Jeff is also, Two Hacks Jeff is also freshly back from the No Name Nationals. Landon Custom Classics is in the chat saying, I have a belly button. Abel D's asking if I have a box of cigarettes, candy rolled up in the sleeve. No, it's just, I don't smoke anymore. Otherwise I would. I had to quit smoking. I was up in Mammoth, Abel, and because of the Mammoth Mountain, for the people that don't know, it's pretty high elevation. And because of the elevation, I was sitting there like trying to smoke a cigarette. And I was like, this is stupid. You really should quit. So Jeff saying had a blast. The bird is rowdy. Yeah, that car is badass, man. I was reading your community post about your suspension as well. The QA1 shocks and everything. That's going to be cool. And First Responder was saying that he was only going half throttle, right? Bryce is saying, boom, baby. Bryce, how's the Dodge going? Did you guys get that wrapped up? I know you and Turlo were working on it, but I haven't kept up with the videos. Abel saying, yeah, it's a good time to quit. It was like, yeah, it was ridiculous. I was like, this much effort just to smoke a cigarette. Like, why am I, why? But yeah, random Thursday night, guys. It was a pretty uneventful day. I sourced some parts, and yeah, nothing really crazy on the home front. I meant to go to a specialty parts store to grab some parts for my truck, as well as that 61 that I'm working on, but I didn't get out today. I figured I'd save the gas and just make it all one big trip next week. Mike in 32451 is in the chat saying, late start tonight, Ari? I meant to go on right after Tony had closed up his tech talk, but I had to charge my phone a little bit. So I charged the phone, and here we are. But yeah, pretty late. I know a lot of people are from the East Coast as well, in the middle of the country, the beautiful, beautiful middle of the country. The bread basket. I can't say that with a serious. The corn basket. But yeah, I meant to go to that specialty store. I need to grab a few things for the Apache, namely outer tie rod ends. One of them is kind of, it's got it's got some play in it. If I hit a good pothole, the whole shack shimmies. So I want to get some outer tie rod ends. I want to get some brake stuff, some flex lines. I'm going to finally treat myself to a set of taillight lenses. They're a whopping $6 a piece. 13 if I want blue dots. And I'm going to get a speedo cable. I know people probably going to be disappointed. Cousin Mike's getting his water pump back tomorrow, so he'll be back in the bird. Nice, man. Did I say TED Talk? Tech Talk. Tech Talk. Tech. Tech Talk. But yeah, I need to grab some things for that 61 Apache as well. A lot of people thought, well, a couple people thought that that was my truck and I had painted it or done something of the like. It's not my truck. But I've done of Charlie Roma saying I can't drive 25. The best part, Charlie, is the fact that even with a working speedo, it won't go down past 25. It'll go up, but it rests right there at 25. Cousin Mike saying, Ari, do a video installing your speedo cable wearing a speedo. I mean, all right. I mean, I can't risk tan lines while I'm working on my truck. Charlie saying, please don't. I would never do that, Charlie. It's the last thing in the world. Last thing in the world we need to see. I'm a hairy bastard too, so it's just not. It's all over bad. Too much. Cheryl Lastra is in the chat saying, "Hey Ari, Lapagan Dikitan, Tamsak. What's going on, Cheryl? How are you?" Mopar Man 1978 is in the chat. I watched that thermoquad video, man. That thing sounded so great. That was awesome, brother. He was talking about using the plastic tube from a ballpoint pen as a portion of the carb. I'm like did someone have to like rebuild the carb in prison or something? Who thought of the ballpoint pen tube? Mike N 32451 saying, do you do that home garage alignment with the strings around the tires and such? You know, I've never tried, Mike. I was really tempted to do it. The basic alignment of the tires is okay. I have ever since I lowered the truck, obviously, I have that crazy camber. And that it gives me a really bad uneven tire wear, and that's a big issue for me too. Is I've had this set of tires for probably a little while now, a couple years. I guess that's not a while. And I've worn the inner portion pretty bald. Speaking of bald, Ligma Balls is in the chat. He's saying, I'm back. But yeah, I need to do the outer tie rod ends. I really should just go through the suspension, but I have those. I've got front wheel bearings and seals that I need to throw in there. Some nice new grease and everything, and that'll get her rolling steady. I need a couple tires. I've been running my spare for like 6 months now. And yeah, a couple things. I'm just slowly trying to punk away on the work. Doing all this work on the 61, you know, I mean, it's kind of getting me charged to do it on my own truck. And I was trying to do a video the other day, but I had a lot of work to do. So by the time I got around to wanting to record, I was pretty out of it and tired. And if I've been working all day, my videos are kind of like, well, you know, I did this and this was also done. And I'm pretty drawl. So unless I got some caffeine or something, it's hard for me to kind of record a good video. But I've done a good amount of work on that 61. I got it written down here. It's I did the fuel pump and the lines. I degreased the engine. I did a crankcase flush. Did an oil change. Did a fuel treatment, a little sea foam in there. I did the distributor cap and rotor. It's HEI. I fixed their temp gauge. I fixed the horn, gapped and changed the plugs, did plug wires, changed the valve cover gaskets, changed their belts. I greased the whole front end, and I didn't have a bucket, but I got to change all the hoses as well. So that's probably gonna wrap that up. And I checked, I checked all the wheel cylinders, that kind of basic stuff. A little more. I should probably flush the brake fluid, but it was visibly pretty nice looking, so I figured that was good. Rich GT350R is in the chat. Howdy, Rich. Miss Olive Drab is in the chat. Howdy, Olive. How are you? Yeah, Charlie's agreeing. The thermoquad video sounded good. Indeed. Abel D saying, I guess, like the Indians, you can always use the outer tub tube of a Big Pen for rims. Um, everyone, cousin Mike saying, everyone connect to Cheryl. Yes, please subscribe to Cheryl Alastra. Really cool lady. She does live streams, incredibly supportive of all of the community, and that's Mike's sweetheart as well. So you gotta show her some love. I missed one from Jive Hive Jeff. He was saying, you need a tunnel ram, some cheater slicks, and open headers. I would be stoked, Jeff. A tunnel ram, I looked at them too. I looked at some of the single carb tunnel rams, but I know they don't really function as well, so I wanted to find a dual. But they're out, it's just a small block Chevy. They're out there, man. I sure could. Mike N saying ball joints. I really should do the ball joints. They're not cheap. For some reason, they're like, I forget how much, like $80 a piece for the, I think it's for the uppers. Something ridiculous because it's that one-off. The 60 to 63 Chevy trucks only run them, so. One poor man saying the Big Pen ink tube is made out of polypropylene and it gets gas and it's gas and other solvents proof. Nice. Still though, man, that had to take some ingenuity to think of that. Buff Del Campo's in the chat saying you're live. Yeah, yes, live and alive. Alive. How are you, Buff? Who else? Did I miss anybody? Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Craig Cheeto's in the chat saying howdy doody. What's going on, Craig? But yeah, Jeff, a tunnel ram would be awesome. I mean, it's almost a joke how much room I have in that engine bay. I could do damn near anything. So, if I was going to have to desecrate a hood though for a blower or tunnel ram or anything, I'd probably get the later '60s hood just because they're more common. Olive saying, hey, I won that silent auction thing. I'll be in the 1911 club soon. Nice, Olive. That thing's going to be sweet. You got to make sure to do the hand on the hip, one-handed shooting thing. Buff Del Campo saying we drove, that's him and Kim Fixes Things, drove the Valiant tonight. It feels good. Nice. It's not spitting power steering fluid everywhere. All of saying, oh, like the Army guys. Yeah, technically, all of that's like the manual of arms for the 1911. You were supposed to shoot it that way, with the one hand on the hip, and then single-handedly, and you're kind of faced out to the side. And most people don't. I forget the proper name for the normal shooting stance, but most people shoot it, in the modern grip. So it's what is it? It's not going to come to me, but you get the hammer bite from that sometimes. Baku Sakura is in the chat saying, I like the sound of the crickets in the background. Nice. Yeah, they're pretty loud here, huh? They're doing some work on the railroad tracks right here as well, so you guys may hear some of the noise from the work. But they're government workers, so you might not hear anything at all. Craig Cheeto saying, swapping a 72 Ford 300 into a 94 F-150. Got tired of fuel injection. That's going to be a sweet one. I love the 300s, man. I've never gotten to mess with one much, but they're just cool engines. I like how many things they put them in, how strong they were. Mad Dog's in the chat saying, hi. Okay. What's going on, Mad Dog? Welcome. Cheryl Alastra saying, cute cat in your thumbnail. That's Hubie's cat. Sure I'm not missing anything. Able D saying that stance is called the Alec Baldwin stance. Oh, man. Buff Del Campo saying that cat looks a lot like my cat, Powerglide. That's still such a great name for a cat. Oh, man. Yeah, no, he's an alley cat. He's pretty wild. now that he's a little bit older, he's kind of mellow, but in that picture, he was like completely ready to fight me because I was messing with him, kind of like patting his ears and stuff. So he was like, he like backed up and was ready to just launch himself at me. Mopar Man saying, I belong to a thermoquad group on Facebook, and a guy has been running his rebuilt thermoquad on his 340 small block with that Bic Pen ink tube for his accelerator pump squirt tube for 4 years. No issues. I I believe it, Mopar Man. I'm not saying it's like funky or anything. I'm just saying like to think of that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? I'm gonna pull apart this ballpoint pen and use the polypropylene tube from this. Like that's pretty smart, man. That's out there. That's Cuban stuff right there. Cheryl's saying, nice color for real. Isn't he cool with his black and white? Le Chat Noir. Yeah, he's a good cat. Where is he? Cat. Cat, be seen. Ah, he's too lazy right now. Unfinished project is in the chat saying, what the heck? Cousin Mike saying, Ari, mail Cheryl your cat. Cousin Mike, they will intercept this cat. Someone will get this cat. It's a very sought after cat. Plus, it's Hubie's cat, so I can't give it away. Tom Brown is in the chat. Howdy, Tom. Yeah, the old, he's a funky old cat, though. Abel D is asking, how many Bic pens must one travel with a thermoquad? All I'm saying, we'll have to start photoshopping that cat into worldwide locations. There's like an Instagram famous cat that looks just like him. It's like some cow cat or something. I think that is the channel name is Cow Cat. But he's not famous. I mean, he's YouTube famous, I guess. All you guys know about him, but Mopar Man saying, "Ari, yep, but you'd be surprised at the clowns who laugh at the idea for the tube." No, I mean, I'm just saying. It sounds like you know what I mean. It's like like I found out this tube works for the thermoquad while I was making my prison tattoo gun. Like it's too damn ingenuitive, man. But yeah, Jeff, Jive Hive Jeff, I was talking to him about the tunnel ram. I would like to throw a different cam into that engine at some point. I really should do rods and pistons as well. It's kind of got the dished pistons, but and the 882 heads, so I'm low compression still. But it'd be nice to throw a cam in there, a decent timing kit, and just kind of let her rip because it's a 4-bolt main. I don't think I'm going to hurt it. You know what I mean? I got that nice vacuum secondary 750 standing by too, so could do something, man. Frankie CNC and Woodworking Channel is in the chat saying, what's up? Not much, Frankie. Was just doing a random Thursday night live. Figured I'd try to, sit and chat with everybody for a little while, see what's going down. How are you, man? How's the S10 holding up? Abel D is saying, Mopar, man, I've been running my VW Beetle now for 3 months with a milk jug style bottle from a rod gravity feeding. No idea is a bad idea. If it works. Jeff saying your truck is badass, man. Thanks, brother. She runs really well now with that V8 and that Granny Gear transmission. It's a really positive change for sure. And now that I got rid of that stupid exhaust leak, oh my god. Oh my god, it was like nails on the chalkboard with that exhaust leak. Everything else was so smooth, and then you just got this tick, 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 tick. But now that I got rid of that, it's pretty sweet. I still got a Y pipe on there, which I would also like to change. I want to run some duals and probably some cherry bombs or something. But there's always room for change. That's the beauty of it, I guess. And the Quadrajet needs some work still. I need to just buy a proper kit and go through it. Now that I'm a little more familiar with it and kind of understand the machine a little better, I think I could do it more justice and get rid of the little stumble I got. Frankie's saying the head gasket is still holding. Nice, man. For those that don't know, Frankie threw in some of the head gasket treatment into his S10. He had a spare motor, but he wanted to see if the treatment would work, and it's been working. So that's what matters. Abel D saying, I live my VW bug life 1 gallon at a time. You know, I really have never gotten to mess with VWs much at all. The painter at the last at Ray's shop, that was almost specifically what he did. So I helped him remove some of the like bodies off of them and stuff, little things like that. But I never really worked on them at all. We got Dino Spumoni in the chat. Howdy, Dean, the man from the future. Mean Dean, the vocabulary machine, says Jeff. That's pretty true. He's quite the linguist. Check these out, Dean. Tell me if you approve or if you don't. Kiwi berries. Now, I know you probably sit on some kiwi berries every morning, but, you know. What do you think, man? Kiwi approved? All right. Bish Naga saying, hey, yo, my man, killing the hairstyle on my mom. Thanks, man. It's a little flat on this side. It's supposed to be like up there-ish, but the sun took a toll on it. I've had the same haircut since like 2008, man. Tom Brown saying, sorry, guys, I was out for a minute. Had to snake the drain. Old house living. How old's your house, Tom? You didn't miss anything, man. I'm over here ranting. Dean Stevenson saying, try them. They're supposed to be ripe, but I'll try one. Tart. Very tart. I'll let those ripen a little bit. The food nerd. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday. I called my mom to say happy birthday, and she's too busy to answer. She's saying, I gutted my kitchen, tore out the old cupboards, removed the paint from the wooden window frames, sanded them down, stained them gray, used some tung oil. Tom Brown saying his house was built in 1921. 1921, that's awesome, Tom. So you probably got like dimensional lumber and like wood lath and plaster, all the good stuff, man. Bish Nagas saying, God took his time on you, bro. Thanks, man. Mom saying her house was built in 32. That house is pretty sweet too, Ma. Mopar Man saying, Abel D, I hear you. I used a cleaned out antifreeze jug filled with fuel to start engines to bypass fuel lines and tank when vehicles have been sitting for years. That's smart. But yeah, guys, it was my mom's birthday, I believe, on Tuesday. She turned 38. Did I miss anything? Making sure I didn't miss anything here. Oh, Dean's mom's got the same birthday as my mom. Nice. Mike N32451 saying, you seem to appreciate a wide variety of music from traditional jazz to classic country to rock. A lot of music, Mike. That's kind of my thing, man. I collected records for a long, long time. I still do, kind of. I had to stop myself, though, just because I have too many and I don't even have a place to store them right now. You're saying, what's my favorite? That's hard to choose. Probably just country music. I don't know. I mean, and that kind of it's hard because there's so many subgenres of country, but probably just country music. I think that always hits home. Jeff also recently had a birthday. When's your birthday, Jeff? I don't know if that's. Oh, that's Police. It's not Engine 7. Unfinished project saying which country? That's what I mean. Unfinished. It's like I listen to too much of it. All the weird traditional stuff, country and western. Western swing. It's hard to choose, but just if you could. Well, something's going down out there. But it's hard to choose unfinished. Frankie CNC and Woodworking Channel saying, got me a good 6.0 LS for $500. Bought the whole truck that was smashed from the rear. The guy I know who owns the machine engine shop, the machine engine shop, lets me leave engines as long as it takes. I get good used parts for cheap. Nice, man. That's a deal right there. Those engines are pretty dang good. Well, happy belated, Jeff. Andy is God is in the chat. Howdy, Andy. Welcome. Mom's saying happy birthday to all the Libras and the past Virgos. Envious Creations Car Club is saying just surrender, Ari. No, Envious. I'm barricaded, man. And we're going to get a good police chase, too, so. Envious Creations Car Club. That's another channel. If you guys still got Kiwi going. Kiwi Berry. That's another channel. If you guys haven't checked him out, please check him out. There are beautiful, beautiful cars up in Modesto, California, where he is. A lot of lowriders that are just about perfect. You don't see cars that clean very often. And it's definitely worth a glance. He also barbecues. I'm kind of jealous of that grill, brother. That the whole, like, what is that, a Santa Barbara style grill? Or is it Santa Maria? One of the Santas. But they do it up there in Modesto. Check out Envious Creations Car Club. Unfinished is also Libra. Nice. Unfinished, I'm on the 9th. Got the same birthday as John Lennon, but I'm not the walrus. Opar Man saying, speaking of food, I'm having homemade chicken noodle soup seasoned with Dano's original. Pop, pop, yum, yum, get you some. Opar Man, I still haven't tried the Dano's. I like a lot of his recipes. Throws them together. Mike in 32451 saying, I got your Mark Chestnut reference on UTG's live stream. Yeah, Tony shot the jukebox. Mike in, that one's a classic. The first time I heard Mark Chestnut was I was helping my buddies move into a new house, and they were going through some of their dad's old stuff, and they popped in his Mark Chestnut cassette tape, and we listened to that thing the whole way through. So I think my favorite song off that one was the album with Almost Goodbye on it, and we were sitting there we were loving that song. Jeff saying sub to them. Yeah, man, you'll like it. There's a lot of beautiful lowriders, and they're all done up panel paint jobs. They're all on 13s with white walls. They're proper. You guys are talking about psychedelia. Yeah, I like the psychedelic rock, garage rock, a lot of that stuff. That's more my brother's music, but I grew up with it, so Jeff's got a great taste in music too. Excellent taste in music. I was, a lot of his shorts have great stuff. Everything Grateful Dead, Iggy Pop, everything. Mike N saying Dano's mixed with Tony Chachery's Creole seasoning. Try it. I'll try it. I swear by Tony's. So at Zero's in the chat. There we are. There he is. I went live for you at Zero. Now you finally show up. Mom saying home of the quality Grateful Dead. The Pentecostal woman who was standing on the corner of the Catacorner Crowleyite. Envious Creations Car Club is saying thanks. No problem, man. I really appreciate you, man. I like your channel's great. Gives a glimpse into culture a lot of people don't see. Maybe out here, California, you see lowrider culture more. Maybe Texas as well, but most of the country doesn't. So you got to show them. Mike Henson, Iron Butterfly. I was listening to Iron Butterfly earlier walking around here. It's funny because there's this, I'm pretty much right next to the downtown over here, so the roads are smaller and they get crammed come like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So I'll just walk around. People probably think I'm, Eefy or something, but I'll just walk around, listen to tunes, and I'll do my errands that way so I'm not sitting in traffic wasting gas, especially now that it's up to $7 a gallon. But yeah, I was listening to, just cruising around listening to tunes. Unfinished Project saying, I dig Doug Stone. Better Off in a Pine Box is one of my favorites. I'm right. Let me write it down. Unfinished. I don't want to miss it. Oh dear. Write it all down. That's your saying whatever. Frankie CNC and Woodworking Channel saying, I'm going to get an 80s Malibu after this winter. I figure this time next year I'll be planning that 6.0 in it. I figured it'd be something fun. You can just get in and drive, or the wife can drive, no issues. That sounds like a great combo, man. Yeah, Mom hates Iron Butterfly. Mike ends into prog rock. Prog rock? Yes, Rush. I never got too deep into Rush, but a lot of people, I mean, that's their absolute top tier of their music, so it's kind of hard to knock them. Mopar Man saying, in the Garden of Eden. Plus on drugs equals Inagata Davida. Olive saying I should rip some CDs onto MP3 to see about rediscovering some music I haven't been playing. I miss having a car with a CD player. Fergs5 is in the chat. Welcome. Olive is saying Dean didn't expect to be like interactive on YouTube when I picked it. Tom Brown's asking if I like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. Yeah, I worked security for one of their shows, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think it, because I've worked. Yeah, I worked security for their show. I actually saw Richard Cheese, but I worked security for Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. It was around the same time. So me being a burnout. Jeff's saying Iron Butterfly. Oh, the memories of understanding the sounds of colors. Cousin Mike's saying I have Iron Butterfly on 8-track. Cousin Mike's got an amazing music collection. He was telling me he's got more than I've seen, obviously, but he's got a lot of 8-tracks that he plays, and he's got this old what's the machine called, Mike, that plays the music off of the steel wire? He's got some old kind of like pornograph or whatever it's I don't know what it's called, but it plays music off of a steel wire. And when he was playing it, it had this really cool old yodeling music on it. I guess it's just called a wire recorder. At Zero saying Gen X or close enough. I seen a youth person using the CD sun visor deal. I was trying not to stare. was real and happened. At Zero, you said it earlier that they're going back to the '90s deep with like the big jeans and stuff. I saw this younger girl wearing these jeans that were like, it was like they had tried to exaggerate the '90s thing, so it looked like a pair of shants that had been like a pair of shants for someone larger that happened to fit her like a pair of pants. It was pretty bad. Dean saying it's always interactive when you're here. It's nice to be amongst the non-frontal lobotomy crew here. Thinkers. Tom Brown saying I miss my 8-track and my 71 boat tail Rivy, which I also miss. That sounds rad, Tom. I have a small collection of 8-tracks. Some of them are all right. I have a great Al Green 8-track, and then my favorite ones are just the country compilations because they're, you know what I mean? You get all of it on there. You get some real cheese. You get everything else. Mr. Josh is in the chat saying, hi, just joined. Welcome, Josh. I'm glad to have you. Mopar Man saying Crimson and Clover. That's my mom's favorite song. Skitmaster saying, I'm going to eat your cat. Give me a couple meals, man. It's a fat cat. Welcome to the chat, Skitmaster. Glad to have you. Mad Dog is back in the chat saying hi. Welcome, Mad Dog. How you doing? Hello. Two Hacks Garage is saying, I'm Gen X. We don't give a shit about anything. Yeah, it's true. Frankie CNC and Woodworking channel is saying, been seeing the Jinko jeans again. They're coming back, man. I saw a lady rollerblading, which kind of made me happy because I was pretty young in the 90s, but there is a definite nostalgia there. That's probably kind of sad to a lot of the older folks, but Skipmaster saying car, not cat. Don't eat no, you can't eat the car, man. Yeah, Jeff's got a point there saying Jinkos were horrible, candy flipper pants. All I'm saying, most of Gen X cares more than you'd think. We just got used to not having much say in things. Mike N saying, I got into LSU on a music scholarship. Most fun 2 years of my life. That's pretty badass, Mike. Do you play music as well? Obviously, I mean, what instruments do you play, Mike? Oh yeah, see, they're starting to work on the railroad. I don't know what they're doing exactly. I don't railroad work. It's like Blazing Saddles, I think. I don't hear him singing the Camptown Lady, though. The Camptown Lady. Yeah, I got a couple little things. I got some work I got to do. I got to do on the truck. I got a lot of work I got to do on my Dart. Let's not even talk about that, though. But I need to get to it. Mike Ansan, I used to play bass and trombone. That was 2 decades ago, though. Man, a good bassist is integral. You gotta have one. Trombone's also rad. Some of the Mexican music I listen to, they got solid trombone solos, as well as the original single for the specials when they did Ghost Town. There's that bitchin' trombone solo at the end. I'm saying my husband has a cousin who is a professor at LSU. Well, bless his heart. Yaretsi is in the chat. Welcome. Buff Del Campo's saying, yeah, make the slant 6 run in the Dart. Definitely, Buff. I need to get to it. I need to pull the slant 6 out. Barrow's Garage gave me the proper oil pan, so I got to put that oil pan on. I'll probably take the slant 6 apart and like re-lubricate everything because it's been sitting for more than a year now. So I'll probably get some new assembly lube on everything and then retorque it, obviously, and then should be good to go. I just need to get it together and see what else I run into. It's never cut and dry. You know how it is. All I'm saying, I lived in a town where they'd stick a bass in your hands if you held still too long. Wrong freaking instrument for me. Mike in saying, play trombone for the specials. A message, yeah, geez. Oh, you can't see it. I got Walter on me, Mike. Nice little garage tattoo there. Buff saying, it felt so good to drive the slant today. I can imagine, Buff. I'm excited for this one. It's got that mid-range Hughes cam in it. It's got the overbore. The pistons are flipped. It should be pretty stout, especially with the Super 6 or the Super Thicks, if you're Mike Tyson. Yeah, Mike N saying two-tone ska. At Zero is the one who showed me that music. I remember being a teenager and he gave me some of his old bootleg CDs and everything. He was always like, here, take this, take this, take this. And a lot of the music I listen to is from At Zero. I learned a lot from him. At Zero saying, two hacks, how's this? I wasn't allowed to go with my high school friends to a video being filmed at the high school for some band called Nirvana. Buff is saying we have a Super 6 manifold. Yeah, I grabbed the Super 6 manifold, and Max Wedge Dick Dastardly, he's not here now, but he usually is. He actually got me the linkage as well as the air cleaner for the Super 6. So, I mean, it's set up to go. I mean, that and the funky push button transmission, it's like it's got all the makings of a fun car, at least for me. Some people aren't into that stuff, but for me, it was like a perfect nerdy dad car. Dean's asking Buff if he leans out to the left to balance the slant out when he drives. It is one funky engine. After assembling a Slant 6, the small block Chevy was like, actually, after assembling the Slant 6 and a 235 inline 6, the V8 was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. So much easier. Olive's saying, ooh, Buff, I wanted to put one of those on my Slant before I blew it and swapped in a small block, but you could still get them from direct connection. There we go, Olive. If I put that Slant 6 together, I might bug you for that head gasket. Mopar Man saying Louis Prima. I've got some really great Louis Prima albums too, Mopar Man. Like I said, collecting records, you know what I mean? If I ran into something and I thought it was classic or if it justified purchase, I would grab it right off. Tom Brown's saying, really been enjoying the music of this Ren Kid, raw, true, deep. I'll write it down, Tom. I'll check it out. Go back to my other page, huh? Mike N saying, yeah, Buenos Aires. Mike, you requested I did a short with that song. I left you hanging. I'll do one, though. Buff is saying, Uncle Tony gave you the manifold. Nice, Buff. You guys can hear the train? It's got to be BNSF. Amtrak's never that loud. Yeah, Buff, I found my Super 6 online. I found it on Craigslist, and the guy was moving out of state, so he sold it to me for like $100. And I'm fairly certain it's like a $500 intake nowadays. Buff, no jets. I was going by the airbase, though, over here in Long Beach, picking up some parts, working on that 61, and the jets were warming up for the air show that's also going on. And they were doing some crazy maneuvers, man. It was so cool. It was like, it's very intimidating to me because I know what the jets are made for, but it's still really cool. Dean saying, yeah, but in New Zealand, our slants, Valiants were right-hand drive. So how many degrees does a 160-pound guy have to lean and kiwi? Dean, I was watching some cheesy movie. It was the race for the Yankee Zephyr. Some cheesy movie. It had the doctor from Halloween in it. The evil is here guy. And he played a drunk, which is funny because in real life he was a total drunk, so. But it was a real cheesy movie, but it was filmed in New Zealand, and they had a left-hand drive, an old International or Ford. Mike N saying, I visited Prima's grave. The inscription says, when the end comes, I know. They'll say, just a gigolo. Life goes on without me. Nice. That's pretty gangster, man. Mopar Man saying, what about Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys? I'm unenlightened, Mopar Man, but that sounds like something I'd listen to. Yeah, it was a pure cheese movie, but it was filmed, I guess it was filmed in New Zealand. It was actually beautiful, the backdrop. I watch cheesy movies a lot for the scenery more so than anything. Skip Master saying, I'm back. I got done eating. Now I got to look. Let me make sure Skip Master didn't eat my car. Ha! Still there. Didn't eat my car. Dean Stevenson saying, filmed in my province. 2 jet boat drivers died during filming. Yeah, those scenes were insane. They were driving the Ford-powered jet boats, which I don't know if they used the real sound from the boats, but they sounded great. Danny Boyd's in the chat. Uncle Corn Pop. Howdy, Dan. But yeah, the boat scenes were pretty insane. It looked like pretty harrowing. Skidmaster, you may have ate the wrong car. Buff Del Campo is asking Dean if it is legal there to drive a left-hand drive car. Mike Ensign also visited Bill Evans' grave. He's buried 20 minutes away. You would never know it was a gravestone on one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time. Very modest. Mike, Bill Evans is, I mean, just, oh my God. The Bill Evans trio, that was my cooking music, Mike. Anytime I was really throwing something together, I used to cook a lot. I've catered a few parties and stuff, and that was my cooking music, was Bill Evans. I'd sit there, zone out, not let anything bother me, not check the phone, just listen. That's so cool. He's buried over there, man. At Zero's asking Tom Brown, what kind of music is Ren? MC Ren? Skipmaster saying, oh no, I'm going to get sued by the Mongolian hamster population. This is not good. Mongolian hamsters. Now I'm imagining a tiny Great Wall of China just to keep Mongolian hamsters out. John Hudson's in the chat saying, hello, folks. Welcome, John. How are you? Yeah, Mike N saying blue and green. Live at the Village Vanguard. Yep. Mike N saying I used to cook to him also. It's great cooking music, ain't it? That's awesome. Mopar Man saying, I'm still going to bug the guy I know up the road about buying those slant 6 headers. I'm going to. That would be cool. I mean, I've only got the stock like log manifold for the slant 6, but I wanted to buy Dutra duals, but Tony said that there was no performance gain from them. Thus, he slighted Doug Dutra. If you guys are ever wondering why I'm always saying that Tony slighted Doug Dutra, that's why. But no, he said there was no performance gain from them, which, you know, it doesn't matter. They sound great. They're cool looking, so that's something. And but they're not cheap, so I kind of held off on them. You can see my 81 Mustang was left-hand drive, but we drive on the left-hand side of the road. Mike N saying waltz for Debbie. John Hudson's doing good. Glad to hear it, John. We're up here yapping. we're talking about jazz. We're talking about all kinds of crap. So left-hand drive cars, New Zealand, speedboat incidents. The whole world of things. Buff Del Campo saying, Dean, I rode in an old Citroen Traction Avant from New Zealand here. It was weird being on the side of oncoming cars with a glove compartment in front of me. Mike in saying, Edith Piaf. I'm unenlightened on that one, Mike. I don't know if I got that deep, but. Dean saying, I love being a member of the Slant Forum. Doug Dutra manifolds are now made in Australia with an Australian boomerang on. Yeah, that was when I started accusing Tony of slighting people. And it's an old joke. It's the same thing as giving my cat to Hubie, you know what I mean? I completely burned the rubber off the joke, but it still entertains me. I'll say one thing about cool JDM cars here, driving from the right would mean looking into a lot of ditches in Georgia. You could find all the road treasures, Olive. Mike Ensign, quite an eclectic mix. John Hudson saying, love me some Take 5 by multiple artists. John, I was listening to I forget, it was a jazz band covering Golden Brown by the Stranglers, and it sounded a lot like Take 5. Mike Ensign, French singer who sings La Vie en Rose. I think I've only heard Louis Armstrong sing it. Buff Del Campo saying, Arnie DeBernia, sometimes your shorts have you on the right side. It looks like a truck in England. Yeah, Buff, that's when I put the camera into selfie mode, sometimes it'll do that. I don't know what it is. It's the trick of the lens, I guess. I'm too dumb to understand that, but it does look weird. I notice it too. Mopar Man saying, when you say sliding, or is it the Italian way of flicking the fingers off the bottom of their chin at a person? Sliding? I mean, it's like, oh, you've been slighted. I don't know. But that is classic when they do the thing. Was it that Steven Seagal movie? They finally got you. At Zero saying, Sonics, anyone? Great to meet them. Just played our festival twice. Yeah, the Sonics are rad. I was listening to Psycho earlier. Cousin Mike is saying, connect to his neighbor, John Hudson. Please subscribe to John Hudson. John's the man. John is a tinkerer like the rest of us. He makes knives. Once I get that Tooth Fairy money, I'm going to order me a Hudson-made knife because they're badass. And you can't just buy one anywhere. You got to buy them from John. But yeah, please subscribe to John Hudson. You guys will like his channel. He's a great dude. Brian M. saying, oops, I was thinking the wrong kind of Sonics. Danny Boyd saying, maybe if we call them centimeter sockets, they won't get lost so much. I don't know why everyone is so irresponsible with their 10mm sockets. You know what the trick is? Don't work on anything metric. I have to... John, you're giving me too much credit. At Zero saying, lost an exhaust clamp on the freeway in traffic. Seen it for days. Now it's gone. Who took it? Cousin Mike saying, I can't, John. I'm an addict. That's one really cool thing Mike does. He'll actually take some time and network a little bit, and he will get people subscribers. I mean, he got me over 1,000 subs, and it's not just people who subscribe and unsubscribe the next day. It's like a real community of people that will watch your videos, are supportive, and they're cool folks. You know what I mean? All you got to do is throw them a sub back, comment on their videos, throw an emoji on their videos for whatever, whatever it may be. And they're good folks. And Mike's also got people from all around the world subscribed to his channel, which is interesting. Tom Brown, cousin Mike just put up the link to John's channel. It's just if you scroll up a little bit, it'll be up there. Or someone's tire got it. John Hudson saying, love the Steven Seagal stuff. John, we were growing up, my friends and I were so bored. We're all broke kids, and we'd sit there and that's what was on TV. So nowadays, if I haven't heard from my buddy in a while, it's not a surprise to get like a Steven Seagal quote or something from him. Usually from Out for Justice. Anybody see Richie? Danny Boyd saying, I heard a Spanish version of The Devil Went Down to Georgia on the local Mexican station. That sounds kind of rad. They probably rocked it. Mike N saying, AI videos are awesome. Someone made an AI video that had Patrick from SpongeBob singing Adele's Someone Like You. I was crying from laughing so hard. It makes the eventual AI takeover worth it. Some of that stuff is pretty cool. I mean, some of the art he throws out, it's interesting enough too. What's weird to me is when they use the AI to redo people's voices, which is what they do in a lot of documentaries now. It's a little creepy. Buff Del Campo saying, I'm having a very slow sub increase. I have 252 hard-earned subs. Buff, it's slow at first. Unless you're putting out a lot of shorts, it's really hard to get traction because obviously, I mean, you're getting some steady subs and everything else, but it's kind of, I feel like it's really slow, and then you get around 500 and it's still pretty slow. And depending on how you work after that, it can be kind of quicker. I mean, I felt like I wasn't doing super well, but I see other people who have less subs that I feel like should have more subs than me. Channels like Ed's Machine, Ed's, you know what I mean? Up here, I feel like a lot more people should be watching him than my crap, but shows you how YouTube works. At Zero saying, I learned deep regret for not watching the Steve while visiting our Pico 67SS is in the chat. Welcome, brother. Saying, I've taken pictures in front of the fruit stand in Brooklyn where Richie did Bobby Lupo. Yes. Yes. He's my best friend. I'm fucking like this. Yes. Mopar Man 1978 is saying, I also like the Spanish version of Hotel California, the movie Big Lebowski. That's the Gypsy Kings do that one. Tom Brown is saying, John, I just subscribed. I've been blacksmithing and bladesmithing for over 40 years. Looking forward to seeing your work. I noticed that, Tom. I saw a couple of the videos on your channel. I didn't get a chance to watch them. But that's pretty badass, man. Cousin Mike saying, Buff, I connected and we'll try to help. Yeah, like I said, Mike's actually a very, very good help. He's got a great network of people, and I mean, he'll get you some subs. At Zero just linked John Hudson's channel again for anybody who missed it. Cousin Mike saying, once you get up there, it picks up. I have 340 subs in the last 28 days. Well, you do great, Mike. I mean, I feel like you kind of, you cover a lot of bases, you know what I mean? You got, all kinds of stuff. You're doing all kinds of stuff. You don't really limit your channel at all. And your cooking videos are badass, man. John Hudson saying, who's a Maynard Ferguson fan? I'm unenlightened, man, but I will write it down. Nice. I got some good stuff to study now. I like it. John Hudson saying, I have the Storm album signed by the man himself. Nice. I'm writing it down, guys. I'm writing it down. I'll take some music. I'll listen to the same crap over and over again if I don't hear something new. Danny Boyd saying, when I was 5 years old, I thought Sesame Street was lame. Buff Del Campo just subbed to Landon. Yeah, Buff. But Cousin Mike does some great videos. He got some good cars too, and it's a cool dude. I enjoy talking with him always. We go back and forth constantly. Tom Brown saying my other channel that I will hopefully start making videos for next year is called Buick Smith. I will be working on Buicks, building a 65 Buick, El Camino, and blacksmithing. I dig it, Tom. That blacksmithing stuff is way cool, man. It's something obviously not a lot of people do, and I just like the way I like the old school technique, especially those hammered welds and stuff. That God damn, it's so damn cool. I'm gonna throw the charger into this phone because I'm low, but if it's a little bit wobbly, I'm sorry, guys, but we can live with it, I guess. Ad Zero's been watching Jimmy the Giant, cool channel, culture history. There's Poncho and his Honda. Ad Zero's making a great point here. He prefers Muppets to Sesame Street. Mike N saying, I played with Steve Weist in high school. He directed Louisiana's All-State Jazz Ensemble back in '95. Nice, man. If somebody could link Tom Brown's channel, that's another channel worth checking out. Tom's got some cool stuff. Great dude. And he'll be starting his new channel, which I'm sure will be linked on his current channel. Cousin Mike's saying, got a good point here. He's saying content is huge too. Put out at least a video a week. If you can, a short a day. Yeah, I've been really slacking on that. I mean, I've been meaning to do a video on the truck since I got it running again, and I still haven't. Same thing as that 61 pickup. I need to do a video on that. I ran down the list of all the crap I did to that truck, so it's you know what I mean? I definitely got something to, it's something to actually talk about. Mad Dog saying hello again. Welcome, Mad Dog. Rich is saying, it's up to you, Landon. No wrench. Oh, poor man saying, one of my favorites of the Muppet Show was when Mark Hamilton was on one. This kid was a gurgling Gershwin. I gotta watch it. Cousin Mike saying, Tom, just change your channel name, if anything. No need to start a new one. That's true, especially if you already have subs. I've wanted to change my channel name just because it's my name, which is, let's face it, it's hard to pronounce. People don't understand what it is. It's why, kind of those why things. Mom, thanks again. Rich is saying, thanks, sir. I'll take care of your channel. You're welcome, Rich. I appreciate you, man. You're always around. Throw up some links. Can get rid of people. Throw folks out if you need to. Someone comes in talking crap on Mustangs. I can't say Paul Williams was on the Muppet Show like a million times. Tom Brown saying, Landon, I want to start over from 0 subscribers to see if I can make it to the No Name Nationals from scratch. Yeah, I've been watching a bunch of that No Name Nationals footage. It seemed like everybody's having a great time. I was a little bummed I couldn't go, but I mean, just the same, it's good to see everybody out there racing and enjoying themselves. That's kind of what matters. See, Mom, that's something I can blame you for, though. You know what I mean? You could have named me anything. Anything in the world. Anything. Bill or George. Anything but Sue. Rich is saying no Mustang bashing. No way. Rich, I saw this gorgeous Shelby. Oh my God. The guy, I had to stop. I was walking down the street. Like I said, I walk around here to avoid traffic, save gas. And this guy drives by, and I just heard it before I saw it. I turn and see this like pristine, sparkling black Shelby. I'm like, just had a moment, like swooned for the Shelby. Danny Boyd said, I can talk crap on Fox bodies because I've always owned one since 1992. 31 years of ownership. Mike N saying, probably because he wrote Rainbow Connection, the song that Kermit always sang, sitting on that long log in the swamp with his banjo. Mopar Man saying, just remember what John said. What about what oh John Dodge said. I thought you meant. Cousin Mike saying, well, Tom, when they make it 1,500 or something next year, you might be in trouble. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The subscriber requirement, it makes it kind of cool because you have to actually do, you have to have a YouTube channel basically to race. But in the same breath, I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice if they kind of made some exception because I don't think there's too many cars to kind of necessitate a limit, like that, or any kind of restriction on who's going to race. I don't think there's that many people. I don't know how big Sykeston is though. But I know it was asses and elbows at Moon Eyes and everybody was racing, so no sub requirement there. Mom's saying Dad wanted to name me Habib. They didn't want to name me Habib. They wanted to name me Khosrow. Que Khosrow. Seriously? Like that's the moniker. That's what you want to give a young man? Which would kind of been funny because that's actually the Iron Sheik's real name. But what are you gonna do? That's you're saying, Brother Ari is Mantis. Mantis is Ari. Yes, a lot of folks call me Mantis. Mike N saying, I got my 69 Camaro in 93, $3,300, still have it today. That's so badass, Mike. 16 and 93. Oh, so you're a little older than my brother, Mike. That's not. Dan saying, I got my 68 Cougar in 96. I sold it in 2010. Is there regret, Dan? Do you miss the Cougar? I love those cars. Buff Del Campo built, he sent me some pictures. He built one of the coolest Cougars I've ever seen. It was small block Chevy swapped and it had a cross ram intake. Really badass. Mike saying I'm 46. Yeah, my brother's 43. I'm 31. My parents were like, let's, have a 13-year hiatus and have another kid. I'm technically 30. I'll be 31 on the 9th. Teen Sans America, baby. Just put a middle initial in your channel name so when the famous singer Ali DeBernia is searched, you won't get him in case of mistaken identity. Richard saying, I just don't like the new offerings. I'm going to keep what I have. Brian M saying, damn, brother, are your brother's the same age as me? Yeah, he's a little bit older. Chris Cadman's in the chat. Howdy, Chris. Howdy, Heidi. John Hudson saying, I have my 69, but it doesn't look new anymore. Buff Del Campo saying, I got my 67 Cougar in 1975, but sold it in 79. Dan's asking if you sold it with the Chevy engine still in it. Buff, I don't know, I've probably mentioned this before, but that type of cross ram intake is like a $2,600, $3,000 intake nowadays. Shell is in the chat. Welcome, Shell. How are you? Make sure I'm not missing anybody here. Sometimes it does that, skips things. At Zero saying rear wheel opening on a 69 Camaro are the best. I did a bunch of work on that 69 in the shop. I mean, the tubs, the whole four link, Ford 9-inch, brakes, axe, everything. Mike Ken saying I had a 327 with a bent valve, put a crate motor in 96. Just pulled that, put an Edelbrock top end kit in last year, me and three buddies from high school. Nice, man. Do you still have the 327? Buff is saying it was a three-way trade. I got a 72 Monte Carlo and a 54 King Midget and some money. And the Chevy Turbo 400. Chevy and Turbo 400 was still in it. That's badass, Buff. A 72 Monte Carlo is a sweet car. I'd be torn, though, because the Caprice, Monte Carlo, like they're both so badass. I don't know. Buff Del Campo saying some kid ended up with the Cougar. He wrecked it. That's a bummer. John Hudson saying I got my 64 GMC in 86 and wish I still had it. Short bed step side. John, that's such a good truck. My buddy had one for years and years, but he flipped it. And it had a 327 in it. He had lowered it some. It was a sweet truck, man. Pete91 is in the chat saying, do you like a Tesla? Not too much, man. I'm not a big fan of the EVs. A lot of people around here have them, though. Rich is saying, my crank is only 180 out. I'm doing well. So I'm going to call my book 180 Degrees Out, the Ari DeBernia story. Shell is saying he appears to be okay, Dean. He's still stalking me. Dean saying, Buff Del Campo, I love Hungarian midget wrestling. 1953 was a great year. Mike N saying the 327 is in a shed in a cow pasture for the past 20 years. Mike, if you want to sell the heads off the 327, I know a guy. Pete91 saying, are you a truck kind of guy? Definitely, Pete. I drive an old Chevy pickup, an old 1960 Chevy truck. And those are about my favorite. C10 trucks are about my favorite. And I've worked on larger trucks as well. I like them a bunch. But I try not to limit myself. I like a lot of cars. What about you, Pete? What are you into? Mike N saying, I love my battery powered mower. I'm okay with Teslas. Chris. John Hudson saying, Grandma had a 67 Catalina 327, fast grocery getter. I love those kind of cars. Dan saying, all my lawn equipment is still internal combustion. Poor man is saying, my next cheap project is building that flamethrower kit for my single dual exhaust. It doesn't interfere with the ignition while the engine runs. Shell is saying, dude, did I hear someone mention Kinky Friedman and the Texas Jew Boys? You did, Shell. That was Mopar Man 1978. He was trying to enlighten me. Buff Del Campo is saying, I'd like to pull a mold off of a Tesla, build one, and put a couple of big block Chevys in this. If there was someone who could do it. Pete, I'm not sure on that one. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. I'm sorry, brother. Tom Brown saying, saw a meme that a Tesla guy was bragging to a guy about how much torque the Tesla had. He asked the guy what he drove. He said a Buick 455. Gotta love the Buicks. The only Buick I've ever driven was a Nailhead, and that was in a T-bucket, but I still love those things. Pete 91, definitely like cars, man. What about you, Pete? Dean's saying the only problem is that when incinerated, an electric vehicle burns at 5,000 Fahrenheit or 2,760 Celsius. That's the same as the last two space capsules that came in at Kazakhstan in Utah. Cousin Mike saying, Pete, Ari has a love affair with my F-150. It's just a crush, Mike. It's not like a love affair. Come on, man. Oh, man. John Hudson saying, glad I popped in. Thanks, all. We'll talk again. Have a good weekend, folks. Hey, you too, John. Really glad to have you in the chat, man. I'm still subscribed to the channel, of course. Like I said, when I get a couple extra ducats, I'll bug you for a knife, man. And have a great night, great weekend. Check your fluids, brother. Mike N saying, I just replaced the HEI distributor in my Camaro. The only thing that I fixed on that HEI was a module I replaced in 94. He's the same distributor until 3 months ago. Amazing that it lasted that long. Yeah, definitely. I haven't messed with the HEI much because the truck was on the points with the 6-cylinder for so long, and it's still a points distributor. But I just on that 61, I serviced the HEI distributor, just a new cap and rotor and some plugs, but still they're pretty nice. I mean, they hold up. Buff Del Campo saying, I rode in a Tesla S with a 65-year-old lady driving. She did an almost instant acceleration of 65 miles per hour through industrial area. Scared the crap out of me. I suggested she check the brakes. Yeah, pretty much. John Hudson says, send me pics so I know what to build. Bowie knife, man. Bowie knife. Bowie knife. Long glittering steel. Oh, man. There's a train again. That might be Amtrak. Brian M. saying, someone in my neighborhood is a fake patina on a G-Body El Camino. Who does that to one with decent? I don't know. Some people do it. My buddy did it to his... Yeah, there we are. My buddy did it to his 60 Apache. But that was because it had this crappy white paint job on it that he hated. He is a painter, so the faux patina was just more interesting to him. Danny Boyd saying a train is getting married now. Yeah. Yeah, thank God there's no weddings in the weekdays. Those poor folks, you see them out there at the end of the night, they get kicked out, and it looks like Ellis Island or something. They're all sad out there waiting for their rides. John Hudson says, coffin handle. Got it. Nice, man. Mike N saying mine started running rough. Put a timing light on it, and the timing was jumping all over the place. Swapped in a new one, and the timing was rock solid again. Hey, as long as it works, Mike, that's what matters. Plus, the newer HEI distributors aren't incredibly expensive. I don't feel like they are anyway, unless you buy some crazy MSD crap. But just the generic ones, they're really not much. So set it and forget it. Why not? I'm such a control freak. I'm like, I need points in this thing. I have to be able to adjust this. I have to do that. I need a manual so I can shift. I need to know. Kind of weird about that. Chris Cadman saying, Ari, why does my motorcycle fall over when I come to a stop? I don't know. Shell saying, Rich is just jealous I'm honorary Kiwi. Buff Del Campo saying, you always look up at the train. Let's hope it doesn't derail. That is kind of a funny habit, Buff. I guess I'm just like, I can see the lights, but I can't really like, it's right there. Maybe if I get some light, I can I'll do a live stream from the truck, and I can have the railroad track right behind me. But it's right there. I mean, maybe a little more than 100 yards, maybe just 100 yards, Buff. If it derails, I'm screwed. And I don't care about that, but the truck is here, and I do care about that. If a train kills my truck, will not be. Better take me with it. Oh, he's talking about the flamethrower kit. Tom Brown saying there's a great old movie called Iron Mistress. I'm writing that down too, Tom Brown. Iron Mistress. Mike N saying this had a lot of end play. Yeah, that's always freaky too. That's the big thing with those Ford distributors, finding that like real sweet spot in the end play. And for some people it's real easy. For me, it was a pain in the ass. Chris Cadman saying, "Been nice knowing you, Ari." Cousin Mike's got an answer to your question, Chris. He's saying because you need a sweet sidecar. Mike N saying if you live right next to a train, it doesn't take long before you don't even notice the horn. I'd sleep right through it. Yeah, it doesn't bother my sleep much. I kind of enjoy it. I don't mind stuff like that. Mechanical noise isn't so bad. Vacuums, I hate. There's a guy who comes to clean. And, yeah, it's not good. Buff Del Campo saying put a cupola on that room, sit up there during your lives. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, like I said, it's kind of a cool area, actually. The people kind of ruin it, but it's a cool area. I like Superas is in the chat. Welcome. Danny Boyd said I can hear I-75 from here. Yeah, you can hear the freeway pretty clear too. Some nights, depending on which way the wind's blowing. Because I got 5 freeway right here, and then the train track. Chris Cadman saying vacuum suck. See what you did there. See exactly what you did there. It's kind of a cool area. Buff Del Campo saying my cat will do a double flip with the sound of a vacuum. Power Glide? The cat named Power Glide. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Hey Boyd saying all he needs an airport. All right, I can hear trains and planes too. Yeah, no airport down here. Thankfully, ain't got that much. There would be drones. Drones. That's another thing about the weddings is they often take, excuse me, drone footage of the weddings. So I'll be sitting here and I'll be outside messing with the truck or whatever, and I just see a drone fly up, and I'm like, these insensitive bastards. No, I'm just messing around. But they do take a lot of drone footage of their weddings. Olive's saying we'll need a list of automotive pet names. I mean, the obvious one is Wildcat. Make sure I got some battery power here. Where is this cat? Did he leave? He's so pissed. I wish you guys could see the look on his face. Oh, man. I don't know anyone who bothers their cat quite as much as I do. But I feel like, that's how cats treat each other. You know what I mean? You ever see cats interact? They just mess with each other. Danny Boyd, at the last shop, at Ray's shop, Ray hated cats. He would trap them in this little animal trap he hated cats. And there was this gray cat that would come through the lot all the time, and I would see him at different intervals. And there also happened to be a gray Cougar, the car, a 68 Cougar at the shop, which had paw prints on it. So he associated the gray cat with the gray Cougar, so I named the cat Cougar. Cousin Mike's hitting a hay. He's saying, have a good one, y'all. Hey, Mike, thanks for stopping in, brother. I hope you get some good rest, man. I know you got to get out there and take care of the animals and shit tomorrow. Literally, animal shit. But thanks for stopping in, brother. Make sure to check your fluids. Buffalo Compost saying, I live right next to the tracks in Ohio. If I turned up the TV all the way, I couldn't hear the shows. But I could sleep through the noise. Tom Brown saying, at Zero Carl at YouTube, make it custom, did a great video on a super simple flamethrower setup. Brian M saying, you need a Tommy gun to take care of those drones. Just a 20 gauge. Rich is saying, love me a Pantera. Those cars are pretty sweet too. Buff Del Campo saying, Pantera is a great cat. Bobcat. Zitron SBG is in the chat. Welcome. Bonjour. Chris Cabin saying, since I started nude sunbathing, the drones have gone away. As we're saying, Rich, as a kid, I got delivered to the last service shop for them. Then it was 93 to 96. Stoked every time I got to take parts there. Guinea pigs would be new cars. Was it Peru or is it Ecuador where they eat the guinea pigs? I bet those little bastards are delicious. That's what I get. Gods of the guinea pigs striking out against me. Excuse me. Oh, man. Danny Boyd saying capybaras are trucks. Shell saying, funny you should say that, Chris. Since I started nude sunbathing, the drones have doubled. Adzero saying, old joke that the woman invented the TV remote after her naked husband bent over to change the channel. Something had to change. Tom Brown saying, Ari, check your fluids. Yeah, man. Wolfdale Campo saying, Vector was an incredible car. I'm unenlightened. Cortland J. Trussell saying, what, what the hell? What's going on, Cortland? Welcome. This is me talking. This is the live stream. I talk. I read people's comments. And I run my mouth. But welcome just the same, Cortland. It's quite the name, Cortland J. Trussell. Ad Zero saying, yeah, Peru eats the guinea pigs. Mike Kent saying, I grew up in a small town of 1,000 people. You could still rent horses there in the 90s. In my town, there was a guy who owned a DeLorean and a guy who owned a Bricklin SV1. Weird having so many exotics in rural Louisiana. Harambe is in the chat saying, opinion on Harambe. Harambe is great. Harambe is mighty. Welcome, Harambe. Glad to have you in the chat. Dean saying, W8 was nice. Needed the Tornado 4-speed automatic. Andy Boyd saying, I'm sitting maybe 2 miles from where Harambe got iced. Jeez. Dan gets me every time. All I'm saying, there was a Bricklin around town when I was a kid, but I got that kind of shabby look. That's right, Ad Zero. There's that one spot right off of Gothard, right? Oh, I'm buzzing. Danny Boyd saying, my old Cougar's stepdad had a DeLorean. I was always joking around about that with one of the fabricators I worked with because he was super Irish, Robert Hilton. And funny dude. But he was always talking about, which kind of cars he want. And I was like, dude, you need to get a DeLorean. It's the only, come on, man. Like, you need a DeLorean. Which, was really not his style. So it was kind of funny. I guess you'd have to be there. Mike Kent saying the doors were heavy and don't let the pneumatics fail. Then you were trapped. Chris Cabin saying, Ari, hey, Ari. Tom Brown saying, Buff, there's a doctor in Bismarck, North Dakota that has 2 Vector W8s and a Vector W12. Bastard. Yeah, they're like notorious pieces of crap. I think that was kind of the joke. Oh, man. All I'm saying, they warned him not to chop down the Ferry Hawthorne for their factory. The cars didn't do well, but did travel in time. Ah, Olive, I knew it was some kind of curse thing. See? Why are Irish people always cursing? It's a very strange. Imagine an entire race of people distempered. Very strange. It's a joke. Love Irish people. Mopar Man saying, saw a meme today. Here are the vegan hot dogs grown in their natural environment. It was a close up of Cattails growing out of a pond. Buff Del Campo saying, if you roll over in a DeLorean, how do you get out? Someone's got to cut you out. It's like one of one of those nice men who doesn't sleep at night gets to cut you out. Gibran Akhtarsia. Akhtarsia. Welcome. Glad to have you. Akhtarsia? Sia. I'm wondering how to say it now. Gibran. Gibran? 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 I butcher everybody's names, I guess. Brian M. saying, Buff Del Campo is the same thing as a Lamborghini Countach. They actually included an axe to break the windshield. Jeez. You're talking about the cheetah? Jabroni. Oh, man. Buff Del Campo saying, Brian M., we have axes in aircraft for the same reason. You know, it kind of sucks because prior to the whole drone incident, I didn't mind propellers. It wasn't a big thing for me, but now I'm not big on propellers, which kind of screwed up my dream of having the triplane. Mike N saying, yeah, the DeLorean only had that little letterbox style window. Good luck squeezing out of that. Ain't happening. Someone's going to have to cut you out. Chris Cadman saying, imagine if all the right-handed people became left-handed. The scissor business would crash. I don't trust left-handed people. Just kind of one of my hang-ups. Buff, did you ever get to fly a triplane or biplane? Oh, man, that's got to top all my dumb questions right there. Buff Del Capo saying propellers are there to stay away from. I've worked near them with engines running. Not fun. Yeah, it's probably terrifying, man. I mean, I was aware of it. I mean, the propellers found me. I didn't find the propellers. So, I mean, at least I got that to say in my defense. But and I said it once. I'll say it again. I can imagine how my lady feels. You know, getting calls like that. Like, hey, you know, drone flew into my face. I need to go to the hospital. Or hey, you know, I need some help getting my crap out of this shop. I'm getting fired over a toy accordion. Or, you know. Buff Del Campo's flown a biplane, a Christian Eagle, a very aerobatic plane. Nice, man. They're just so cool. It's kind of a dream of mine just to, like, you know, you fly one around and you listen to some Wagner. Speed story. I'm writing it down, Tom. I got a lot of studying to do. Danny Point saying, instead of weasels ripped my flesh, drones ripped my flesh. Yes. That's such a good album, Dan. I think that directly from my heart to you is probably my favorite track. Killed a wabbit. Killed a rabbit. Bufftail Compost saying I got my initial aerobatic training in it. That's badass, Buff. Those and I got a lot of curiosity about those paragliders. I don't know if they're complete death traps or what, but I mean, seeing video footage and just seeing those guys cruise up there on the paragliders, it seems so damn cool. See, that's engine 7. Sounds like cat. Cats fighting. Cat Zero saying I would totally do the wing walker deal. Let me at it. Brian M saying, "Damn, I thought I was hearing things for a second." No, no, that's definitely here, man. It's they're busy folks over there. Busy folks. Gabriel Noah Isaiah is in the chat saying hi. Welcome, Gabriel. Glad to have you. Yeah, it was it's got, like I said, it's a downtown area. So I mean there's always something going on, which is weird because everything everywhere to eat that's like halfway decent closes around 9. It's kind of a bummer. I can't get any decent tacos past 9 o'clock. A sad day. Danny Boyd saying 5 cats carrying a fire truck to work. Bufftail Compo saying I quit flying in about 2010. I flew for 30 years. Too many dead friends, like 21 of them in 20 separate accidents. Time to build cars again, except I work on big drones. I'm sorry to hear about that, Buff. That's no good at all. Kind of hurts losing friends like that. No matter how it happens, I guess. But I'm glad you're building cars. It makes for some cool stuff for us to see. And I don't know if I approve with the drones. No, I'm kidding. You got to make the drones, man. Tom Brown's asking if we've ever heard 2 lynx screaming at each other if you're in the woods. Shit'll make you blow out your pants. I believe it, man. It's probably a weird one. There's not, there's not. It's pretty domesticated out here. If you go out towards the mountains, Tom, you'll see some stuff. There's cougars. There's mule deer. You'll see some bobcats, but not. It's few and far between. Olive saying the sun tends to be a problem at air shows for me. Yeah, being out there too long. I got the Mesopotamian blood, so I just kind of get brown. Mike and saying Wagner's Lohengrin. Write that one down. Doesn't Moondog do that one, Mike in? I don't know. I think maybe not. Maybe not. Buffalo Compo saying big drones in military test sites. You won't get hit in the face with one. If I do, I won't worry about it, right? I mean, they're good. Drones are good. Drones save lives. Drones save as many lives as they end. God. Oh, I'm an idiot. Brian M. saying, it's a miracle I still have hearing left from the numerous times a fire engine passed by the drive-through speaker in the headset and jack. Yeah, because you're right there on El Toro. The station's right, like what, 4 lights away? TR is in the chat. What hair gel do you use? This is Gorilla Moco gel. but normally I use pomade, Suavecito pomade. Mike N saying, well, technically Wagner's from the Romantic era, not classical, but I'm splitting hairs now. The occasional wild Auri out in the woods. Observe him in his habitat. I was saying probably more effective than one of my Jackie O hats. Yeah, Mike N, I think I could be wrong, but I think Moondog does that on maybe he did. There's that one album that he does that's all pipe organ. He may do it on that one. I could be absolutely wrong though. That happens. That happens. Tom Brown's out, guys. Saying got to haul fuel in the morning. Have a great one. Thanks for stopping in, Tom. Be safe out there, brother. Make sure to check your fluids, man. Buff Del Campo saying we flew a solar powered drone over 70,000 feet. We could see the curvature of the Earth. It was used as a cheap satellite. It was for a radio relay, just like a satellite. See, we need footage from that for the flat earthers. No, I'm just kidding. That's badass. Sure beats a spy balloon, right? Rich is asking how Judge Judy was today. Dean probably does watch the soaps, all the daytime TV. Mike Kent's, yeah, Trout Mask Replica. That's a good album. That one's out there. That one and Ice Cream for Crow. Super out there. Ian Watts is in the chat saying, good day from Australia. Good day, man. How you going? Yeah, Mike Ann, I love Beefheart. My favorite album is still Safe as Milk. That one's just that absolute masterpiece. The Trout Mask Replica. It's a good one. Right, I'm saying my dad used to work for Boeing. A lot of those satellites he worked on, he could not discuss. Buff Del Campo saying, look up the Zephyr UAV. It's on the internet, not secret. The records were set in Yuma. Badass. Ian Watts is saying, all good here. Just finished practicing Chopin. I always say it wrong. Spring waltz on my piano to memory. Nice, man. That's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. At zero, that's what I was talking about. That's off of Safe as Milk. That's Captain Beefheart. Zigzag Wanderer. Zigzag Wanderer. Had a zigzag child. Zigzag traveler, fathered mercy mild. Found his dream in nature's scene. Quenched his thirst where he's never been. Chris Cadman had the 12-string out today. The bird stopped singing, and the dog hid under the shed. If you got the 12-string out, Chris, you got to play Devil's Plaything, Danzig. Ian Watts is saying, I met a great family from Wisconsin. Great people in the USA. Got a lot of respect. Thanks, Ian. Always loved Aussie people, man. I worked in a place where they'd take their holiday a lot of the time, and just always good people. Had a lot of fun. None of them were playing Chopin by memory, but you know what I mean? That's pretty awesome, man. Buff Del Campo saying the Zephyr is owned by Airbus Industries now. It was British when I flew it. Mike N saying I picked up a trombone once in the past 22 years. I promptly put it back down out of frustration. It's hard to hold on to that stuff, and that's the trombone was tricky. I played brass when I was younger. I played a euphonium mostly, a little tiny bit of French horn, but the trombone was tricky. Obviously, and the guys are right next to me, so I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, Buff Del Campo saying, yeah, I'm not a flat earther, but clearly we can all see the sun is flat. Ian Watts saying, got a new subscriber. Cheers from Queensland, Australia. Cheers, man. Glad to have you, man. I hope the channel's not too boring. It's mostly just me cruising my truck around. Sometimes there's music, sometimes there's not, but it's pretty lighthearted. Hopefully you get a laugh, man. Appreciate you. Glad to have you on board. Gabriel Noah Isaiah saying, hello, bro. New to your channel. Bro, I love subscribe. I subscribed. Love your face. You are pretty. Gabriel, don't gotta make things up now. No, I'm kidding. Well, welcome, man. Glad to have you. Ian Watts is saying, now you met a concert pianist? Typical Aussie. Well, you know what? If you play any of the halls here, you know what I mean? I got to come through. Queensland, Australia. That's down there. That's awesome. It's a beautiful thing about YouTube. You see people from all over the world. That's funny, to hear piano played like that. It's like the only time I ever hear it is off of old records, and that's stuff that I for years avoided collecting, and then finally was like, hey, I why am I turning my nose up at this music? It adds to the collection, and I have a son. What if he ever gets into it? This stuff's not going to be really prevalent, obviously, in his era, so it might be something cool to have. Got another train coming. I looked up again, Buff. You see? It's a weird habit, man. Narco submarines. Yeah, I mean, that is actually a thing. I worked with a guy who he worked for the Coast Guard, and he was constantly talking about narco submarines. Buff Del Campo saying Kim is out there editing videos. I said that weird videos. I need to go help her. All right, Buff. Definitely give Kim a hand. Tell her we said howdy. And stoked on all the work on the Valiant and everything. I'm glad it's coming together. Alva's in the chat. Howdy, Al. Al called me earlier. He was doing well, chatting about the truck and exhaust and everything else. And he's been considering buying a T-Bird. I think he said a 60 T-Bird. I could be wrong. Ian Watts is saying, I performed piano for many hosts on YouTube, StreamYard, all over the globe. Great people. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, if you're streaming, I would definitely like to tune in. I love music like that when I'm working. You know what I mean? Clears the head. Um, when I was doing real technical work, like reloading ammo and stuff, I'd always put on a little bit of geez, just like that. My brain goes. I like to listen to Tchaikovsky a lot when I was doing technical work. Kind of clears the head. All I'm saying, Ari needs a cope cage hat for the drones. But yeah, have a good night, Buff. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Again, tell Kim I said howdy, and see you next time, man. Check your fluids. Alva's saying 67 T-Bird. Oh, that's going to be badass, Al. I thought you said 60. I was picturing the old, like, boxy, funky style. Shell's saying, okay, who took my crochet hook? Dean? Rich? It's gone to another region. A place that we call the Twilight Zone. Ian Watson saying, I met Shakira on the Shakira on YouTube. She says I'm too shy. I didn't know what to say. Say nothing. Stay shy. I can't say Bullet Nose T-Bird. Yeah, those are good looking cars. Shell found the crochet hook. Nice. Piano, percussion, or strings? Tabo Garage is in the chat. Am I late? Did I miss anything? Not much, Tabo. Glad to have you, man. How are you? You said you kind of messed up your knee, man. That's no good at all. I hope you're on the mend with that. Alva's saying I like all the T-Birds. They're pretty sweet cars. I love that 55 I worked on. What a funky little car. It was just so like it was like I don't know. It was a funky little car. I was so happy I got to drive that thing. Ian Watts is saying she's a wonderful person. I treated her just like my neighbor. She appreciated that. Definitely, you know what I mean? It's funny. It's the same thing, you know, if you're personable, if you're on like a normal level with really famous people, they're always I think they really again, they really appreciate that. Tabble is saying, yeah, thanks, sorry. Just a dicky knee goes out on me from time to time. Is the worst it's been though. Got to get some of that equestrian liniment. Throw that on there. It helps it heal a little bit. I don't get the knee problem so much. I got one ankle that'll act up a little bit. And, you know, the back I've kind of tweaked a little bit. Only when it's really cold, though. Alva's saying Hot Rod 85. Good luck smogging it out here, Al. Andy Boyd saying, when I was a kid, there was some cat in my hometown that had, get this, a black 1966, just 6-ish, come on then, a Landau, I believe, with the flames painted on the front, mag wheels, which might have been slots. Badass. I love the old flower mags. I know they're not the most desirable, but they're a favorite. A pop-up sunroof over each of the seats. Damn cat. Make sure he's not into something. Beast. Dan saying it was the 1970s. What can we say? Yeah, I was watching one of Hubie's old videos. I think he was out at either Irwindale or Pomona, and one of his buddies was running an old, I think a 57 Chevy that had the flower mags on it. That car was pretty sweet. Tabo Garage is saying, don't mention sunroofs. Oh, what do we got? Yeah, Rico, that's actually a good one. I don't know if they're going to hide that or not, but that's pretty damn funny, man. Sebastian J. Cricket. Danny Boyd's, yeah, the Daisy Torque Truss. Is that what they're called? I call them flower mags. Rico saying, I'm just trolling. Troll on, man. That's good. That's got taste, you know what I mean? Some of the trolls are just kind of weird, versus. That's tasteful, Rico. You have a great day too. Thank you for popping in, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, the whole like sharing the live stream with the shorts feed thing, it's been getting a lot more different, newer people coming in the live stream, which I think is fun for everybody because a lot of us, we've been talking for a lot of years, so some new folks in the chat can't hurt, right? More people get to listen to me rant. Danny Boyd saying, I think they're called daisies, but they look real similar to the torque thrust. Both, I believe, originated from American racing wheels. Yeah, I think you're right on that one. Danny Boyd saying daisies were real popular in Puerto Rico. Cat. Come show yourself. Grab this damn cat. 2 seconds, guys. Gotta pull out Tavo's cat for him. Come on. People want to see you. Come on. Say hi to Tavo. Come on, cat. Say hi to him. Oh, buddy. Tavo, your American cat, man. Oh, buddy. But what will you do for Spectre? He's a good cat, Tavo. You can tell he's pissed at me. Look, pissed. Ah! 5.2 voodoo is music to my ears. Shell's got a 26-pound Maine Coon. I love those cats. They're deluxe. I don't know how much this cat weighs. He's pretty hefty though. He's got to be at least 18. Pretty hefty cat. But Maine Coons are always really pretty. They get the ears and stuff. They're really big. Cat, stay, damn it. Don't be a little prick. I know it's in your nature, but what do we got? Shell, what's your cat's name? Tabo, he'll get me, man. I was messing with him earlier. I'll do this thing where I'll like tap his ear with my finger, and then he'll put his paw out, and then I'll smack the back of his paw, and it just drives him nuts. And he'll ask at zero. He'll actually stalk me around and go, ah, there's a low, angry meow. Cat drum. Cat drum. Destructive little beast. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Silver Shamrock Jack-o'-lantern mask. I don't think I've seen Season of the Witch, Mike. It's going on the list. I've heard the song Season of the Witch. Shell's cat's name is Carmen. Nice. That's a great name. Dean saying you have to twist forward your normal steel 90-degree throw versus 90-degree V8 crank. A flat planed is actually easier to make, especially if there are 4-cylinder versions on the V8. For cat. For racing cars. Tabo Garage is saying my guys are all or nothing, either out sunning in their enclosure or smothering me. Yeah, he leans towards smothering, but Dan, I seen that video too. Isn't that creepy? Just getting stalked by the cougar. Three Maine Coons. They really are like deluxe cats. People love them. I've always just had cats wander up on me, so I never really like got to pick one. Alva's saying, yeah, asking Maine Coon is the name of a cat. Yeah, Al, they're like big, fluffy cats. They're like deluxe. They get huge. They've got these cool ears. They're pretty bitchin'. Yeah, Zero's talking about his cats. Also, Doom was a cool cat. Tabo, I'm sorry, man. Elvis, I'm thinking real raccoon. No. Leon Messi's in the chat. Welcome. Norwegian forest cat. Plymouth Ruster. Those are funky cars. And they look cool. They're cool cars, but I feel like they're kind of too hyped up. Like I like them, but I don't know. And 9 years old. Is this for kids? Not necessarily, Leon. We mostly discuss cars, classic cars, history and stuff, but it's not inappropriate. I don't use much harsh language. Um, so, I mean, it depends. It's not necessarily for children. We are all grown children, but it's not inappropriate in the same breath. I don't know how to say that. Hey, we had a live stream the other Saturday. There were several children that joined in. I felt like an automotive Fred Rogers. Yeah, Messi says, "Okay, bye." No worries, man. No worries. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. Mike N saying occasional innuendo that will mostly go over your head. Yeah, pretty much, Mike. It's not really but I mean for the most part, it's like I don't think we get too bad. It doesn't It's not worse than network TV, is it? Um I don't know. I try not to curse too much for YouTube's sake and that, I I feel like it makes me sound really bitter. And though I am a bitter person, I don't want it to translate too much to the videos. Chris Cadman saying Ari has a lot of hair. Yeah, there's a bunch of this crap. Well, poor man saying don't bring kids to a protest or an adult YouTube channel, etc. Common sense. I mean, I went to protests as a kid. Mopar man, it was fine. A little freaky, but no blood for oil. I don't think that chant worked. Vodka drinking tigers. Vodka drinking tigers fighting vodka drinking polar bears. Mopar man say I'm talking about kids before teens. Yeah, Mopar man. I was like 12 years old or so, post protesting the war in Iraq. I mean, if my mom and my brother went, there wasn't anybody to watch me really, so it was safer for me to be there, I guess. Yeah, Mike, I'm gonna have to start donating plasma to fill up the truck. Alva's saying pizza eating monkey. Cognac drinking seals. Good lord. Oh man. Well, yeah, Dean, I like to think so. I mean, I'm a dad. I should be mildly acceptable, right? Mopar man saying this one lady was complaining on a video about how her 5-year-old and other people got pepper sprayed at a protest she attended. Oh wow, yeah, I wouldn't want to take a 5-year-old. I was a semi-mature 12-year-old, and it was an organized protest, and this was back in the age of reason, pre-shamdemic. It's kind of cool to see, I mean, people exercising their rights and stuff. It's for a decent cause, especially now that, I mean, we saw everything that kind of unfolded over there. Kind of makes sense. Alva saying couldn't find a babysitter. No, latchkey kid. Not really. I mean, not really. My brother was always around. He's 13 years older than me, so it was like, he was just doing his own thing mostly. I grew up in a neighborhood with a bunch of hellion kids, and we always had something to do just because there were so many of us with nothing to do. So you know what I mean. It wasn't too bad. Chris Cadman saying I can help Ari. I'll send you 5 gallons of plasma. At Zero saying the air show I went to had a huge sign for lost children, or you're an absolutely terrible parent. Pretty much. But aren't we all just lost children at Zero? Aren't we all? Anyway. Anyway, saying I was about the worst hellion in my neighborhood. No, we were all bad. Um, Bunch of kids with nothing to do. But I mean, it made for fun and it made for lifelong friends. You know what I mean? It's like my friends that I BS with now are the same friends I had when I was 9 years old. So that's kind of cool. Tavo Garage is saying polar bears in Australia drinking Bundaberg rum. That's terrifying. I have a deep fear of bears. Bears and drones. Dean saying my friend from Iraq protested too here in New Zealand. Great to radicalize a quiet foreigner here. Oh man. I mean, it was one of those things. I don't know why it's trying to censor that, but Dan's saying, no, my neighborhood is quite a bit Jewish, Indian, and Asian. Two of my friends from there went to Duke. I was a dumb redneck. At zeros, yeah, that's what I was thinking. At zero, Tabo, he's asking Tabo, Bundaberg makes rum. I've only seen the ginger beer. Mike N saying, same here, lifelong friend. Had many times where life could have gone very differently for me. Yeah, pretty much. It's always like you kind of split, I mean, you're like right there on the edge of that whole career criminal recidivism thing versus just being a normal person. Mopar Man's got a good one there. Speaking of kids, at every car show, they should have an event to see how far someone can kick one of those crybaby dolls that stand next to the fender of the vehicle. Crybaby punt. It's actually a really good idea. Those things are weird. But I respect it. Those old folks like weird crap like that. Crybaby dolls and cherubs. I hate cherubs too. Almost more than bears. Tchotchkes. Yeah, you know what I mean. I respect it. You get it to a certain age. You're watching Gunsmoke and stuff. I watch Gunsmoke, so I understand that. Polar bear is Bundy's mascot. I had no idea. You know, you think being from like what a lot of people consider some kind of cultural hub, you'd know more about the world, but I'm pretty ignorant. Pretty ignorant. Something went wrong. Yeah, bears. Drone operating bears. I would go full Terminator. I would go back in time to the moment that you invented the drone operating bear when you put that thought out into the ethers. Devil's saying getting too much to bear. Mopar Man saying I used to collect old school rods, car culture, deluxe, and the deluxe magazines were rad. And that one had the rods and the broads. Street Chopper magazines and the old school rods. That guy wrote an article on car show etiquette, and one of them was the crybaby dolls. Mike N saying, grew up on the Mississippi River. Me and two friends wanted to play a joke on another group of friends who were all camping out behind the levees on the banks of the river. Said we fired off this. Koala bears howling in the night. We fired off this large marine flare in a tube. All kind of spotlight converged on us from all the marine traffic. Oh God, they thought you were actually having some kind of like life-threatening incident. And Zero saying, I met the dude from the Storage Wars show, complete jerk that is, until he walks up to me. Now he wants to see his hot rod he bought from a buddy. Now he wants to be cool, asking for invite. Douche. Mike Ensign, we hauled ass. Police were everywhere on the river, on the streets. Yeah, I bet you shot up a flare like that. They're like, who's dying? Like, they think something's going down. Mike Ensign, yes, they thought a barge was sinking. Yeah, good. Man. See, it was hard to get away with much of anything, Mike. I grew up in a place called Huntington Beach, and it's like a police state. Where we lived, we were in between. The main street that we were on led to the police station, and there was also two substations. Pretty much, we were in between three stations, basically. And the city in question has two police helicopters that rotate in shifts, so there's always a police helicopter. We couldn't get away with a lot. I mean, we got away with a lot, but we couldn't get away with a lot. You know what I mean? You talking about Barry Weiss at Zero? The skeleton gloves guy? Drone operating seals. I'm not a big fan of seals either. You know, they're kind of cool or whatever when you just see them on the rocks, but when you're float tubing and some giant mass swims up next to your leg, it's terrifying. It's terrifying. I'm not sure on that one, at Zero. Alpha saying bad news bears. No bears. don't like bears. The crybaby dolls. Yeah, they're always like crying into the car. Like, don't understand it. Don't make no sense. Hell. Drone operating prairie dogs. I can't say that thing was bright, let me tell you. We yanked the rope at the bottom of the tube. This rocket roared into the sky. The night became day. We instantly knew the prank went too far. Yeah, that's like because that's basically like military grade stuff. That's like you know what I mean? That's gnarly, man. That's awesome. Where did you even get the flare? Surplus store or something? Someone's dad probably had it in the garage, almost went to prison because the kids. Danny Boyd said, "Why don't those dumbass bears and other predator animals organize trips into populated areas so they can go hunt people?" I mean, I don't know. If they did, I don't care. Give me more chance. I'd get rid of more bears that way. Send me one. Make sure I'm not messing anything up here. Mike Ensign, I have no idea. Someone else got it. Everyone worked on the river down there. Hubie's Garage is in the chat saying, "Wow, you're live." Yeah, Hubie, I was bored over here. And at Zero requested I go live after Tony's Tech Talk. So I just been sitting here yapping. We were talking about juvenile delinquency and bears and drones, cats. How are you, Hubie? How'd the day treat you? Danny Boyd saying, "Wild turkeys once overwhelmed a distillery, and now we have a whiskey by that name." Yeah, I think, especially if I move north or northeast, I definitely want to hunt a bear. Like, the more bears, the better. If I can rid the earth of a few bears, I will have done my part. And bears and drones, I'm gonna design something just for the removal of drones. Like some kind of because you can't discharge a firearm where a lot of people fly them. So I'm gonna find something to take them down, some kind of like EMP type thing, and then I'll make like a Faraday box so I can throw the drones in there so they can't track them, and then I'll just have a big drone incinerating party at the end of the year. Tavo Crowd is saying, "Oh yeah, who's buying around a wild turkey?" Whoa, no! If I drink wild turkey, I'm gonna end up in county jail. Hubie's Garage is saying, "So check this. I've been looking for a replacement for my mini bike, my Bug Flea that was stolen 30 years ago. An ad popped up on my Facebook feed for a guy moving." Mike Ann saying we have black bears here. Grizzlies are a whole different class of nope. Yeah, pretty much. So one day I'll have a big old rug in my house. Mopar Man, it's a good one. Pirate Greg's in the chat. Howdy, Greg. How are you, brother? It's late, man. Sprinklers are turning on. That's how late it is. I think Hubie was saying he's finishing his sentence or his statement. Hubie's Garage is saying he saw an ad on Facebook, and this guy has 2 mini bikes and 2 bicycles that he has to get rid of tonight, and one is a vintage Bonanza BC 1200 mini bike. I asked him what he's looking to get for it. He says $800 for both or $400 each. Is that a decent price? I mean, that's pretty cheap. It seems pretty cheap, Hubie. I don't know how those things go, but did you end up picking them up? Do you need help picking them up? Can I be helpful? Pirate Greg saying, real late, about to go to bed. Well, Greg, thanks for popping in, man. I don't think we'll be on for too much longer, but just the same, you know what I mean? We're on here, we're yapping. Like I'm always saying, I'm going to do another live stream during the week, but I don't often get to it. And I had meant to do one earlier, but Tony had his tech talk, and I think prior to that, the Bad Tree guys had a couple of premieres. So I figured it was better just to wait until later. Pirate Greg's out for the night or what? Ha-har! Greg, I saw a guy with I'm not joking, he had 5 parrots on both of his 3 on one and 2 on the other side of his shoulders. And, I walked by and I'm kind of smiling about it. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. And he kind of gave me that, he's too cool attitude. And I was like, damn, that pirate's a dick. Alva's out for the night. He's saying lights out here too. Good night, everybody. Good night, Al. Talk to you soon, brother. Thanks for stopping in, man. Check your fluids. Pirate Greg saying, holy shit, that's like having 5 toddlers with wings. Yeah, exactly, man. Hubie's Garage is saying he had a dumpster and stuff was going in it tonight. He had the Bonanza, a painted unknown mini bike, and a China-made mini. I offered $300 for the Bonanza, and he said, come get it. Nice. You know me, I hear dumpster of stuff, and I'm like, well, what you throwing away there? I'm a hoarder. I'm a horrible hoarder. Horrible. I need to buy myself a large piece of land so I can finally hoard all I want. Rich is saying we have bears, have to watch what do you put in a trash can? I don't envy you, Rich. I hope you have some kind of large caliber pistol just to deal with the bears. And I hope you get one of those bastards. Or you know what? You don't even have to shoot the bear. Just put one of those horrible panettone cakes in the trash so the bear dies from dry mouth. Dehydrates. Ed Zero's got a point here. He says, he never say anything to a dude walking with an odd pet. We had a guy, old neighborhood, snakes, lizards, etc. I'd tell everyone, don't say anything about the snake at all. Mr. Mint 17. Say, will you say mint so I know you saw this comment? Mr. Mint 17, mint. Welcome, brother. Glad to have you in the chat. Hubie's Garage is saying I went over and just bought it. Bonanzas are 700 to 2,000, and this one complete with new seat, new tires, new throttle and brake set. China knockoff engine has bad fuel in it. Mom's saying I like panettone, and you know what? That that is like you know what? That's a character flaw more than a preference. Ma, the meatloaf. Mr. Mint saying great. What's your opinion on mint? Test this choice decides if I sub or not. What kind of mint? Peppermint? Spearmint? Is wintergreen even technically a mint? I like mint. Hubie said, nice to have a cool pit bike again. Yeah, that's badass, man. I really want to fix up that Schwinn road bike. It's just so like, I don't know, I'd feel so obnoxious just riding it really slow around the track. Mint tea. I like mint tea. It's actually really, it's really refreshing. It's nice on the stomach. You get a chamomile mint. It's pleasant. Very pleasant. That's awesome, Hubie. I'm glad you ran into that good deal. Something you're looking for. What else did he have, Hubie? Did he have any engines? Tavo's saying, I have half an acre, Ari. Eventually you need more. Mr. Mint is saying, correct. I love mint anything. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to think, like, what's mint julep? Um, yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything bad. But yeah, see, Mopar Man's ahead of me. Hubie's Garage is saying the Bonanzas and Taco Minis are cool. I still want to find another bug flea. Now I got a mini for the No Name Nationals mini bike race. So we got to have it bored out and stuff. We got to go crazy on it or what? Oh, man. Oh, I'm dying. It's the end, guys. Pirate Greg saying he's not done. What do you mean? Mint soap is pleasant too, Mr. Mint. That Dr. Bronner's ain't bad at all. Yeah, you got a point. I mean, guys got to admit, Mr. Mint's got a point here. Yeah, Hubie, that's right. You have the turbocharger from the Junior Dragster, right? That's pretty badass. I don't know. I don't know much about small engines. I know they benefit a lot from the overbore, and obviously anything boosted is going to be pretty rad. But I've got this like tall old Schwinn like kind of road bike, and I just picture myself in my stupid white coveralls just riding really slow in circles around people's cars at the drags. Tandem bike. That's what that's what we need for the No Name Nationals, a tandem bike. Why do you guys call it the No Shame Nationals? Danny Boyd said, I'm surprised they don't make a dang tandem motorcycle nowadays. What are those weird, the three-wheel ones, like with the two front wheels and like the rear? It's like a reverse trike. I saw one of those on the freeway the other day. EB's Garage is saying Nick Woods from Clay Smith Cams gave the turbo to the kid, and the kid gave me the turbo. Nick never tested it on his lawnmower engine dyno. Might be some good content. Nice. Mike Ensign, I have a Schwinn tandem, late 60s model. It was my grandma's. That's badass, Mike. Mike, when my buddy and I, when he was, I think we were still in high school. It was before we drove. We would ride to parties on a tandem bike, and it was pretty much it was just a joke the entire time we were there. Like, you guys rode here on the same bike? Like, yeah, what? Like, what? In hindsight, that kind of took some confidence, I guess. Yeah, Hubie, you got the nice old Schwinn with the seamless welds and stuff. I used to have one, but now, like I said, I got that like the road hipster bike, and I can picture myself on it, and I know I'm going to look obnoxious, so it makes me want to. It makes me want to, restore the bike. Chris is saying, "Hey, who is the guy in the white coveralls riding the tandem bike alone? Stop him!" Mike N saying, "Yes, it's funny. Me and my friends would ride it for a goof. It's hilarious. It's like tandem bicycle. We actually got pulled over on the tandem bike. What are you guys doing? Like who's up to no good on a tandem bicycle? Like, Rick, come on." Buyer Greg saying, "I miss my BMXing 80s days." Greg, at Zero used to BMX too. Nowadays, the only thing he peddles is lies. Chris Cadman saying Clockwork R. I mean, I bought the white coveralls thinking more like Smoky Eunuch, but it came off more Clockwork Orange. Also kind of looked like an orderly or something from a mental hospital, maybe. It's got a lot of layers. But Red Cap still makes white coveralls, so what was I supposed to do? Not buy them? By Greg saying, out here in a Rust Belt, we watched Rad and Wish we're on the West Coast. I mean, it's pretty cool up here. It's kind of funny, Greg. The more you go north, the more like actual skate parks and different stuff like that there is. Down south, it's kind of smaller. It's few and far between, but Northern California and then Oregon as well has some insane skate parks. At Zero saying, "Sir, there's no camping here." Bro, I'm on a bike. QB's Garage is saying, "Totally stoked on the Bonanza. It has rear shocks and a drum brake. Better than the scrub brake models." I'm going to have to see it, Hubie. I'm unenlightened. Mike in saying, "We got cocky and tried to take it up a bridge over a canal. It didn't look that high up in a car. About halfway on the bike, we were gassed. Almost got hit so many times, no shoulder, just a 2-lane bridge." Jeez. It's kind of funny, again, the things you get away with as a kid. It's like you just never, you look at it now and you're like, why? Where were my parents? No offense, Ma. No, I'm kidding. We're chilling. It's not like, wasn't a lot to do. It's not like we had tablets to plug into or drones to fly into people's faces or anything like this futuristic crap. Dean said, I missed my order of the clothes. Dean, you are full on Ken Kesey, huh? Mike N saying young and stupid. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I was always really wary of that. You know what I mean? If I saw something where it's like, okay, you know what I mean? You could pretty much snap your neck doing that. I'd stand behind. I would take the ridicule and not do it, which is rare. Pretty rare. Mike N saying we were 17. We thought we could pedal our way over the top. We were wrong. Hope our man saying just need a derby hat, suspenders, and combat boots. Ultra violence. That movie's kind of a. I remember reading most of the book as a youngin too, but that movie's a hard watch. I've gotten through it all the way once, I think. Oh, you just have a picture of that. Oh, he's coming back. Ad Zero saying, anyone here ever seen the movie Moonrise Kingdom? That's Ari. Said that a few times. I'll accept it. I'm not trying to deny it. I'm not going to deny it. Milk Bar. Ad Zero, I still think that would be a great name for a YouTube channel, is Milk Bar Garage. Mike N saying on flat land, two young kids can get those tandem Schwinn's moving, but it doesn't have gears for climbing anything. Yeah, Mike, I feel your pain. I remember a couple of hills back where I was. There's like two hills, but wasn't I think we had to walk the bike up those things. Pirate Greg, yeah, at the Clockwork Orange, they go to this weird place with all these like sexual statues and stuff, and it's the milk bar. They drink milk, but when you read the book, it tells you that the milk was laced with a bunch of amphetamines. You'd be saying, "Sorry, I guess my text buzzed your phone." No, no worries. It's bound to happen. You're trying to offer context for your bike purchase. My dad called earlier. That was buzzing the phone. Hubie's Garage is saying, I still need to see that movie. Hubie, it's a hard watch. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't know. For me, I can sit through most movies pretty well, but that one I was sitting there like, and really, this is weird. This is weird. And then it ended, and it was just weird. It was weird the whole time. But it's worth a gander. Yeah, Pirate Greg. It was they had. It was. I had a copy of A Clockwork Orange, and I had a copy of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I don't think I finished either. Fear and Loathing was hard because whoever had the book before me had like written their own book in between the text of Fear and Loathing. So I was like distracted reading their weird crap while trying to read the book. Like saying a bit of the old in out in out. Pirate Greg saying, yeah, it was a one and done for me. Yeah, once you get it in, it's like, okay, I mean, that was cool. That was interesting. That was something, but yeah, Mike Hunter S. Thompson. That the book was great, but then the whatever the I wish I still had it. Someone had, again, written in between the tiny lines of the text. Someone had written their own. I don't know how much acid they were on, but Slaughterhouse-Five. I think I might have it. Still have it. I do. I got it, Mike. Dean saying, I love Hunter S. Thompson's LSD mouth. What an awesome guy. I really love that. I think it's a 65 convertible Eldorado that they're driving in the movie. And I love that car. I want one. Yeah, Fear and Loathing. Kurt Vonnegut. Yeah, Kurt Vonnegut. This one's kind of a strange read too. It's kind of all over the place. I like that it references Dresden, which is pretty relative, especially after what they did to Maui. Guess I shouldn't mention that on here. Yeah, I don't have much. Most of my stuff's in storage, but I got a lot of great books, a lot of great records. I tried to hold on to that crap. Mike, yeah, I'm unenlightened on that one. Oh, geez. Phone's dying on me. I'll plug it in. Probably stay live for another little while, guys. And then I'm going to get myself to bed. Hope for some tooth fairy money in the morning. That's Do You See? I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Red Dragon, but I used to send add zero pictures of the pictures of the plants I was growing in my garden. And it was like it was really, really boring to him. That's not his thing. So I was like, this is the squash and flower. Do you see? This is the squash now ripened and harvested. Do you see? Any car from 1960, Dean. Any car or truck from 1960. Yeah, Fire Greg. Do you see? Uh, uh, American Ultra. Yeah, interesting enough though. Lots of books. And saying I drank a couple Michelob Ultras yesterday. They give you a stomach ache, man. Mike N saying it's a reference from another Vonnegut story called Cat's Cradle. They invent this special isotope of water called Ice 9. If it touches water, it instantly turns to ice. It was a doomsday weapon. Cat's Cradle. I think this is the only Vonnegut I've really read, Mike. I have more of his books, but I never got to them. The Vonnegut was actually, most of those books were a gift from my grandma. Rest in peace. She was a pretty eclectic lady, always trying to keep me thinking. But she always gave me great books. And some of that stuff I kind of found on my own, or through film I had seen, whatever it may have been. But a lot of this better stuff from her. I can't say one drop of it in the ocean and the world freezes over, killing everyone. There's more than 80 at zero. It was like, because there was 60 at the one. It's more than 80. Mike Hansen saying, lucky to have her as your grandma. Yeah, sure as hell was, man. Sure as hell was. A cool lady. She was a hip lady. Pirate Greg saying, I hear coyotes. Maybe. Cat, go outside. Oh, where you're at, Greg? Asimov. That'd be kind of cool, Mike, to get the story without Will Smith. Greg Center everywhere. Can you shoot him out there, Greg, or no? That's cool, man. But yeah, guys, I'll probably go ahead and wrap it up. I'm right here at 3 hours, and it's getting late for everybody, I'm sure. I'm definitely still going to do my live stream on Sunday. If I can, I'll try to get one out on Saturday. I know I felt like everybody enjoyed that Saturday afternoon stream from the truck, so I think that'd be kind of cool to do again. Oh, geez, see, look, falling apart over here. But yeah, thanks so much everybody for stopping in. It was a great time. I always enjoy speaking with everybody. You guys have a good night. Get some rest. I'm sorry I had to talk about weird sci-fi stuff before we called it a night. Hey, Jabo popped in. Jabo, how you doing, brother? You guys kicked ass at the No Name Nationals, man. That Nacho Cuda, just venerable all the way to the end, man. That was really rad. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, and you guys all be safe out there. Enjoy your Friday. Hopefully I'll catch you guys on a live stream again Saturday or Sunday. But thank you guys very much. Make sure to be safe. Look out for each other. Check your fluids. Thanks, guys.